Probably the biggest strength in the kitchen that I feel that I possess is my organizational skills and my cleanliness skills. Because when you're in the kitchen and you are in the middle of doing, a cake or a pastry, to be unorganized or to have a dirty workspace just is not to the best advantage. The reason I picked the Art Institute is because they were the only ones that actually had a program that specified in the baking and the pastry program. And from what I saw of the curriculum, it was areas that I was interested in, and they had a forte for baking and pastries. It has helped me to grow, to expand my horizons, to open up the field, because I didn't realize that there were so many different aspects in the baking and pastry program. Like I said, I just thought I was coming to learn how to decorate cakes. I didn't realize I'd be doing, showpieces and other aspects, learning how to do, old world breads and how important that is. The nice thing of being here at the Art Institute was that it opened my spectrum to more areas of the baking and pastry. Everything from the breads to old world breads to decorating cakes to sugar works, and we just finished up doing chocolate works. So it's really opened my spectrum to the into the culinary world of the baking and pastry. So it's been a real joy to work in all areas. When I first came here, I thought it was just learning how to icing and decorate a cake. So my ideal working environment would be someplace that I could go that, number one, it's clean and that it is somewhat organized, but where I could actually, learn at the same time as I'm growing in the field, so that, I can continue my growth outside of the school. What I am very proud of is that I was featured in the Art Institute's gallery production. My Sugar Works piece was featured in there. I've also done local competitions where I not only placed in the top 3 categories, but I also placed Best of Breads in the local competition. There's a lot of science and a lot of creativity. Because it's not one of those things that I can just throw a little salt and pepper in or something like that and still serve it. Once the cake's ruined, the cake's ruined. And if you have to be very creative, especially if you're, designing a cake or a showpiece for that function, so that it can not only withstand the elements of the environment, but to make sure that that client is happy and, the end result. Because you're working with art. It is an artwork. I am actually, once I'm graduating, I am taking some master courses, some continuing courses in Chicago. And then after that, I'm looking for just some place that I can continue to gain my experience. As a kid, I was raised on a dairy farm. So we grew a lot of our own vegetables and things like that. I was in the kitchen with my grandmothers, we did a lot of our own preserves, we did a lot of our own cooking, baking, and things like that. Unfortunately, growing up on a farm, men aren't supposed to cook. So the only way that I was allowed to cook was to join the local 4-H club and take cooking classes and things like that. And through that, it excited me because it was a different type of science. And in my first year, I actually went all the way to state competitions, and for 4 years after that, I did state competitions. So I started doing competitions, food competitions, at probably, I think the first one was at age 10. So, and then I just continued on and actually have just always had a passion for cooking and that artistry behind it, that science behind it, that real creative side. My goal for 5 years from now is having my own old-fashioned type bakery and pastry store, kind of like a dessert and coffee shop, which are, they aren't around anymore. Because thanks to Starbucks and places like that, they've kind of overtaken it. But an old-fashioned where you can go in and just have a nice cup of coffee, nice pies, things like that, the old-fashioned type of recipes. I've always had a passion for baking and pastry. Even as a kid, I did 4-H, did a lot of competitions. I had a lot of experience with my grandmothers, grandparents, things like that, working around the kitchen. But I was afraid that if I had to do it every day, I wouldn't like it. So I've learned through going through the program that I really do enjoy it and that I can make money at it too.
That's always good.